Hey, welcome to the internet. My name is Joshua from the reviews department. If you haven't already, go ahead and clock in and sit down. We have a
even when you want the job. So before Eddie knew it,
the hell was that? Usually what? Start the show. You can never have a normal day at this place. It's always freaking headaches or... what? Oh, this makes sense. This topic is sudden, usually temporary malfunction or irregularity of equipment or a program. And this is starting to make sense. Welcome to the internet. Wait a minute. The Yiddish term glitch, which means a slippery or problematic place. The term was first popularized in the 1940s by radio announcers anytime they had a little on-air mistake. This usage of the word evolved in the 1950s to include the frequent technical difficulties that came with broadcast television. Welcome to the internet. I'm Josh from... I am really starting to hate this hallowed halls of NASA by none other than astronaut John Glenn, who popularized using the word glitch to mean a spike or change in the voltage of an electrical circuit. So you can see in video games. For sure, they can be frustrating, but they do indeed make for excellent YouTube montage fodder. Welcome to the internet. All right. Yeah, this is starting to feel less like a glitch and more like deja. Tardigrade. 38 out of 100.
And then after your nightly news at 9, stay tuned for the friendliest killer in history. It's an all-new episode of Jason's Dog at 10.
Huh. It's the weirdest programming. They show that stuff here all day. I mean, I would watch it, but, you know. What do you got here? Harold Braunhut. Jesus! All right, who is that? Harold Nathan Braunhut, also known as Harold von Braunhut, was an American inventor and proponent of mail-order marketing. Born in Memphis, Tennessee on March 31st, 1926, Braunhut's family was in the toy business. Specifically his grandfather, Tobias Cohn, who was both founder and owner of the T. Cohn Superior Toy Company. What a boisterous and specific name. This all goes a long way to explaining the path Braunhut ended up taking in life. You see, this guy was, let's call him an inventor of sorts. He actually held the patent on 195 inventions by the time he passed away in November of 2003. What did he do with all these neat inventions? He would place advertisements for them in the backs of comic books and pulp novels starting in the 1960s. Readers could then mail off a predetermined amount of money with their order form and receive one of Braunhut's products in the mail. And these things were dubious at best. So of course we're going to discuss a few. First off, we have an absolute classic. X-ray glasses. For between 50 cents and $1, you could get a pair of these bad boys, which claimed they would allow you to see through people's clothes and even their skin. These things were a huge hit with perverts who liked looking at skeletons. Next up, there's crazy crabs, which is really just hermit crabs. You see, back then, if you didn't live on or near a coast, a hermit crab was kind of a weird thing. And so he would mail them to people with a bunch of wacky little shells to live in, and a lot of the time, they would arrive dead. Then there's the invisible goldfish, which was literally just an empty glass bowl, a handbook, and some fish food. Early promotions for the invisible goldfish guaranteed buyers that their fish would stay 100% invisible forever. People bought these. Thousands of them. I could sit and list this guy's impressive flim-flam resume all day long, but let's jump right to the main event. Where you see, Harold Braunhut was the inventor of the sea monkeys. A lot of you are sitting there right now super confused. I get that. But the rest of you who know what sea monkeys are, I'll see you at bingo tonight. We're riding with Kevin. Now, they'll get their own review one day, but sea monkeys were advertised as an amazing underwater civilization that you could bring to life by just adding a little water. The concept was so staggeringly successful that it snagged Braunhut's company a whopping $3.4 million in sales, which, when adjusted for inflation, is about $33 million today. A lot of people were less than thrilled about their sea monkeys when they got them all set up. They were supposed to look like this, and they looked like this. That's because it was just a bunch of brine shrimp eggs. So this guy was a modern-day huckster. He made millions of dollars with tongue-in-cheek, not quite as advertised gimmick toys, basically. And it's almost impressive, it really is. Sure would be a shame if there was some dark, deplorable aspect of his life that we could Oh, I remember now. He's a white supremacist, yeah. The Washington Post reported in 1988 that despite his Jewish ethnicity, Braunhut had close associations with white supremacist groups, including buying tons of firearms for a Ku Klux Klan faction, and being a regular attendee of the Aryan Nations National Conference. Also, some totally different dude named Hendrik von Braun operated an organization called the National Anti-Zionist Institute out of the exact same Maryland address that Braunhut used to store and sell his Sea Monkeys merchandise. I don't think we need to go much deeper with this guy, right? I mean, he holds a significant spot in the pop culture zeitgeist of mid-20th century America. Even those who got duped by his toys in the backs of comic books would admit the guy was a marketing genius. But then there's also the, I'm giving Harold Braunhut a tardigrade of 8 out of 100. You can never have a normal day at this place. It's always freaking headaches or... We've already had this one. It says glitch. We did it earlier. Deja vu is the illusion of remembering scenes and events when you actually experience them for the first time. And deja vu is universally common. Somewhere between 60 and 75% of people will experience it at least once in their lifetime. But what is it? And do we understand it, at all? Deja vu is a French term meaning already seen, as an experience that presumably goes back as far as humans do, but the phrase itself wasn't coined until 1876. In his book, The Psychology of the Future, French philosopher Émile Bourac used the term deja vu to describe a sensation of familiarity even when the context or specifics of a situation are impossible to pinpoint. So on a definition level, we're square on what it is and what it means. But what is it? The human brain, by our own observation, is the most complex structure in the known universe. So comprehending and understanding the inner workings of such a complex neurosynaptic megamachine, it's almost impossible. Mapping the brain is a task that humankind is going to struggle with probably for eternity. So the short, sad answer is, we're never really going to know what's going on with deja vu, not 100%. But we have a pretty good idea. So the brain is constantly observing and cataloging the world around you like complex chapters in a book. We subconsciously record information regarding sights, sounds, smells, and so on related to each unique chapter or occurrence. It's the easiest way for us to file memories away and reference them later. Like that time we went surfing in Hawaii, or when your mom and I watched every Home Alone after slamming a weird amount of Jaeger bombs. After the fact, you can reference those memories, like pulling a file in a cabinet, and then start referencing portions of that memory, like how the sun felt on your back, the smell of a nearby sidewalk hot dog vendor, or the look on your mom's face as I threw up literally inches from the bathroom. So close. Now with deja vu, as far as we can tell, your brain finds itself literally in the opening nanoseconds of forming a new memory in your hippocampus. This is a brand new memory for you. It's walking into a room for the first time that day, or meeting a new person, stepping out of your car on your lunch break. And before the ink has even dried on that first fledgling instant of that memory, something distracts you. Maybe your phone rings, or someone walks in front of you or grabs your arm. Someone tries to get your attention. Maybe you hear something loud in the distance. Or maybe you were trying to remember the name of an actor earlier in the day and it just comes back to you. Either way, something happens that takes you out of that moment as you're forming that memory. And then the distraction is gone. And you find yourself walking into that room for the first time that day, or meeting that new person, or stepping out of a car on your lunch break. And you know what? This seems really familiar. Well, that complex noggin of yours has already processed wild amounts of information about this new experience. In that opening instance from earlier, the one you don't really remember because something distracted you. And now there's two processes occurring in your frontal cortex, and they are going to war. On one hand, you have a weird, hazy memory of this place, this moment. You recognize sights, sounds, smells as if this has already happened. But then your hippocampus is simultaneously saying, nah, this is brand new. We just got here. And now your brain goes through a very common series of synaptic checks to verify and confirm that yes, this is indeed a new memory. This has never happened. All the while, some part of you swears it feels so familiar. So your brain is remembering a memory that occurred before or simultaneously to the memory you're comparing it to. In the 1999 sci-fi film The Matrix, deja vu is explained as a glitch in the matrix, or the world that their minds inhabit. Subsequently, some people have taken to calling deja vu a brain glitch, or a mind glitch, which means a slippery or problematic place.
Nope,
no, we're not doing that again. We're done with that. Deja vu can be a very confusing, intriguing, mesmerizing, even scary experience. The fact that we'll never fully understand what's happening up here with deja vu makes it an even more interesting topic to me, and one that I'm prepared to give a tardigrade of 73 out of 100. What do I even say about today? I mean, yeah, all of that. This has been a nightmare. We've got to wrap this up. I certainly hope you've enjoyed your time here at the internet more than I have today. I'd love to have you on our workforce, so hit the subscribe button so we can do this every week. And don't forget to clock out by pressing the like button. I've been Joshua from the internet. Hey, welcome to the internet. My name is Joshua from the reviews department.